Welcome back, adventurers, to another exciting discussion about Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. I'm Heavy J, and today we're diving deep into the age-old debate about XP versus Milestone. Whether you're a seasoned dungeon master like myself or a curious player, this video should help you understand the difference between the two popular methods of leveling up your character. Let's kick things off by talking about experience points. That's the traditional way of advancing in Dungeons & Dragons. With experience point progression, characters earn XP for defeating monsters, solving puzzles, and completing quests. As they accumulate this XP, they gradually level up and gain new abilities. So there are some pros and cons to this method. The pros being, XP allows for a detailed sense of growth. And what I mean by this is players feel the immediate rewards of their actions. Overcoming challenges lead to immediate gratification by getting the actual XP. And I also think it gives players an option to make different tactical decisions too, which in turn can yield to different amounts of XPs being awarded. Now the cons of all this is tracking the XP. Tracking XP for each encounter can be time consuming as it disrupts the flow of the game. I think mistakes in encounter design can happen too, and these mistakes can lead to an imbalancing of leveling of an encounter, and this can lead to the encounter becoming too fast or too slow. In XP-based games, players might focus more on the kill stealing to maximize their individual gains as well, instead of the more thematic choices or what's doing best for the party. So what about Milestone method? In this approach, characters level up at predetermined story points that are usually chosen by the dungeon master, regardless of the XPs they've earned. For example, in the official Dungeons & Dragons campaign settings, the DM is usually provided a guide for which the milestones are hit, such as having players hit, like level 2 once they complete the Witchlight Carnival and find an entrance to the Feywild in the Wild and Beyond the Witchlight adventure, even though they may not have had any combat encounters during this section of the game. It's like what happens in most video games, for example. You achieve a goal, you level up. So you might say to yourself, what are the pros and cons of this method? Well, dungeon masters can control the pacing and the progression of the story without worrying too much about XP calculations. Also, milestone progression ensures that all players level up together, minimizing the power imbalances that I talked about earlier. And finally, players are encouraged to work as a team to achieve their goals, since leveling up isn't tied to individual actions, and there is no kill stealing involved. So there are some cons to this method. Players might miss the instant gratification of seeing their characters grow with each encounter. Some players might feel disconnected from their character's development if it's not directly tied to their actions. Then there is the sense of surprise and accomplishment from overcoming challenging encounters that is diminished. So which method is right for your campaign? Well, it really depends on your group's preferences and play styles. There is no right or wrong answer here. Personally, my group loves the milestone method. It works just well for my group. My group just likes to focus on the storytelling and collaborative gameplay without worrying about mechanics so much. I think that's because I run more of a narrative-focused campaign with my storyline. So how do you know when XP progression is ideal? Well, I think it's ideal when you enjoy tracking details and like the sense of incremental growth. I also think it's ideal when groups like the immersion of earning rewards based on in-game actions. And I think it's also ideal when you have experienced players who just really like the complexity of XP calculations. So as they say, different strokes for different folks. In the end, whether you choose XP or milestone progression, the goal is to create a memorable and enjoyable gaming experience for everyone at the table. It is important to have an open discussion with your players and find out the method that best suits your preferences. This is usually done in session 0. I know it's done in session 0 in my games. So please tell us in the comments, which method do you prefer, XP or Milestone? And also let us know why this works for your group. Remember, Dungeons & Dragons is all about forging epic tales, battling fearsome monsters, and growing as a team, no matter which path you choose for leveling up along the way. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss any of our future Dungeons & Dragons discussions. Feel free to share your thoughts and experiences with XP and Milestone progression in the comments below. And as always, happy adventuring and ride that bad dragon.